What's up, YouTube? You're not used to seeing me with my hair done and a shirt on?
Yes. That's funny.
There's my man in the back. Ant's going to be 19 soon. So I was telling Anthony my parents were poor. And I'm sure there's very different levels of poor. We had a home. And there's people who are poor who live in cardboard boxes too. So, there's different levels of that. But I don't know where my father came up with he was going to get 3 boys a dirt bike when we were little. So my first dirt bike experience was a 1980 Suzuki DS80. I guess you're going to call it a dual sport back then. Had a clutch and had gears, of course. Had a headlight and it had a tail light. I don't believe it had a brake light. And we bought that from Diaz Brothers in Millville, if anyone knows the South Jersey area. And if I do remember correctly, I think it was $600 or $800 for a brand new bike. And I can remember this so vividly since I was the oldest of 3 that the Diaz brother owners took us in the back, and they had to me, I was little, so they had this warehouse part, and he stood in front of the dirt bike and he showed me how to start it, and then he wanted to see me try and ride it. And I've never been on a dirt bike. 1980, so let's see, I was 73 to 1980. I was 8 years old, right? And I started it up, and then I held the clutch in, and then he said to put it in gear, and then he's telling me to let the clutch out. Well, I let the clutch out, and I basically pushed him 6 feet back before the bike stalled. So that was my ever first experience with trying to ride a clutch type dirt bike. And then it was on from there. My passion for riding, trail riding. I was an excellent trail rider, field rider in Williamstown. Had miles and miles of farmland. We had farms across the street, and I learned to ride through deep, gloomy soil, disc-cut fields, sweeping fields. Yeah, the farm owners didn't really enjoy that. I was the one with the most excel for riding. But that was my first experience riding a dirt bike, and we had that bike forever and ever and ever. And then eventually what happened was it wound up at my father's farm, and somebody put the wrong spark plug in it and ruined it, and then I don't know what happened to it after that. That was probably 10 years later, and I rode that bike everywhere, and it was oil injected, and I can remember fuel was 50 cents a gallon back then, and I could go everywhere on it. My first new dirt bike was a 1997 RM125. I had some bikes in between that, and I always rode trails. And then I started making my way into sand pits and quarries and things like that, with jumping and deep sand. Collins Lake's Blue Hole back there. There was some makeshift tracks and a bunch of different quad riders. And then I ventured into arena cross back then. It really wasn't very successful. And then many years later, I made it into motocross, and I wound up being very successful in 450 C class until I tore a ligament in my right foot and took almost 3 years to heal. And I haven't been back on a dirt bike in as long as you've been around, right? So 5 to 7 years. And I was telling Brighton Carroll, the sponsored rider we have, who's working on his career still to make it to stardom and success and fame, was I really would love to get back on a dirt bike and ride again. I said the problem is I just can't get on the bike and ride and behave myself. I just can't. I can't be the one to putt around. And putting around is just as dangerous as you doing doubles, triples, tables, rhythm sections, riding ruts. So I just don't have it in me to just do that. And I really want to. So I said I don't have the staff for me to become injured, or I would be financially crippled. So, one day maybe that will happen. Or maybe I will just get a bike and just do it because that's my passion, just like fixing cars is my passion. But what was your first dirt bike experience? And we're not talking clutchless here because clutchless is for wimps. I'm just saying, sorry, clutchless is for wimps. Your first clutch type dirt bike experience, if you ever have one. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there who ride Harleys. I hope it's not an Easy Glide.
That was horrible.
But let me know. Thanks for watching.